Hello in bad weather, the guy with the beard. Although the beard is getting less and less. You have probably noticed that I have been wearing a Klingon beard for some time. Just shaved out the middle. By chance, I found out it's a Klingon beard. Cool. It looks great too. Unfortunately, it will probably fall soon because skin has already been declared a national disaster area by the government multiple times due to its dryness. And if beard hairs start sprouting there as well, it becomes really difficult. In the past, various mustaches have failed because of that. It's just that at some point, the beard hairs also hang in your mouth due to their length. Yes, now I've done that, and now, well, there's just way too much trouble under the upper lip here for it to be worth it. We'll see. Eventually it will fall, and you will probably notice it. So, just so you recognize me again later, with a different beard somehow, whatever. Here we now have Gamo Expo. Yes, you heard right, Expo, not Expomatic. This is a relative of the Expomatic, but one without matic. That means here it is just a completely ordinary air rifle with the nice name Gamo. Expo. However, it says El Gamo. As the manufacturer here, which is often the case, with very old Gamo weapons. Apparently there are different variants, namely capital E, a small space, Gamo, so El Gamo. However, I have often seen it written completely in lowercase as El Gamo in one word. It changes from time to time. Here we have a specimen, by the way, made in Spain, which therefore cannot be from before 1970, because there is an F mark on it. And in terms of shape, I would say, based on this cut of the underside, we are probably here at the end of the 60s, beginning of the 70s. However, one can never say that exactly. Here too, I can refer to the internet. It will tell you exactly when they were built. Also Pyramid, as I said, Pyramid.com is actually a good source for such old things. Then I would say, let's start with that. This is a completely normal knicker. It won't surprise you. It also comes from this package that I bought. Therefore, I can't name a specific price for which I bought it. It's rattling at the back. Ah, here. The stock screw is apparently not tightened properly. It doesn't rattle, not even the rod, which usually rattles in all kinds of devices. Not here. It speaks for high quality. It says mod, so model Expo, caliber, blah blah blah, serial number. Sign. Then we have the iconic old El Gamo sign, made in Spain. There is nothing written there, there is really nothing. We are quickly through that, which is nice. So let's first come to the stock. The stock is, how should I put it, a hunting stock adapted to the design language of its years, so a completely normal standard stock with a cheek piece for right-handed shooters. At the back, we have a smooth finish again, which means stock extensions can be screwed in there if desired. There are chips, so this stock has almost no dents. This is usual with old rifles. But we really have chips here. Where, how should I put it? It has chipped off correctly, as if the grain is somehow just painted on, which I can't really imagine. Or is it just the paint coming off, quite literally here at the back end, creating a bit more than elsewhere? A little bit of pitting is always present. Aside from that, this is European quality. It's not what comes from China. Trigger guard made of thick, heavy cast plastic. 2 large screws, all countersunk, nicely done in 2001. Still slotted screws, yes. It's all a bit older. When I look into the trigger housing here, I see nothing, which means there are no screws. The trigger blade is made of, I would say, sheet steel. All good? Yes. Let's see how it is in size. It could be larger, but that's also a plus. And all of this just to provide you with a memorable acoustic experience. That was design. That was scripted. Yes. So it fits quite well here. The rear sight and the rifle also go together. How should I put it? With the length. But that's amazing. Sure, for me it's always a few more centimeters, but I'm just an average giant, 2.5 meters tall, heavily muscled. Yes, at least in my imagination. So, that's not exactly small, it's not a huge drunk, but it's definitely solid. Metal. Yes, a plastic end cap over it. Looks like metal. There is a scope rail on it, but it is relatively short. I might need to show that. It extends from here to here. That's just enough for a decent scope, but doesn't go all the way back. They probably didn't want to cut through their company logo. The rear sight is a good old-fashioned spring sight. The wheels click nicely, are very clearly printed, so you can really see what you're doing. Also, the spring is naturally made of metal. I would say that the rear sight cutout is a metal plate. The rest seems to be some kind of plastic to me, although, I don't know, the surface could also be metal. Hard to say. I would say for safety's sake, plastic. I don't want to commit completely, but I guess it's plastic. Barrel, yes. A rear sight and 1 gram. A post-front sight in a tunnel. And as always, I hold the shotgun in front of your nose, which I don't do with people. I only do that with cameras. You see the front sight tunnel, and this is basically the Gamo standard rear sight. But as I said, that fits quite well. And now let's get to the usual. Namely, oh yes, here, the trigger process can be initiated very smoothly. Here we know several things right away. It locks in well. The cocking resistance becomes quite stronger towards the back. And you can also easily release it again without having to do anything. The preferred travel is long, but then we also have a kind of pressure point back there. 2001, that's already nice. It is not adjustable, but they did it well, made in Spain. So, let's try that. In fact, safety here. The O-ring up here looks like it could use a little attention. The whole thing is still tight, so it hasn't been flattened over the years. But there is a dent at the bottom, which I would say is 2001. Yes, I would say it looks like something was cut into it and then flipped up. Basically, the thing is probably still tight, but still, the 3 might be worth investing in a new sealing ring. Now let's put one in here. A little lead for the pale accelerator. With the big orange gloves, it's always an interesting experience. Aiming along the barrel with a cramped posture from the side. Long pull, very long pull distance, then a very clear pressure point. Yes. Well done. The trigger is hard but super direct. The recoil is also hard, so I suspect, as is often the case with the Gamo products, that they left the original spring in and instead made the small hole here at the front, where the air hisses out, a bit smaller. 2001. And that's how it comes about. All clear. Gamo Expo, 10 shots, 10 meters, sitting supported. Well, I wouldn't have thought that. This thing is 50 years old. Well, about 40, 50 years around that. Okay, it's not, as I said, not a Diana 75, but perfectly fine for a recreational scope. And at 10 meters, at 5 meters, the whole thing would need to be compressed again. And then it can be easily covered with $200. So, technology, technology, technology. So there probably isn't much written here again. 2001 Gamo Expo serial number. Yes, there isn't a price for which I bought it because we have lot. The same applies to the retail price. It hasn't been available in stores for a very, very long time. And I haven't even entered the muzzle energy here. I was a bit lazy again. Fortunately, I have everything here in my little computer. I need to check what exactly they have changed in the software when I succeed. Gamo, I was already there before. Gamo, 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 Gamo. What did I say? What is the name of the thing? Or did I put it under Gamo? That could also be E like Gamo, written in lowercase. Oh my god. I also don't understand why they made this sorting like that. You have to sift through all the capitalized items. There it is. Gamo Expo. There? Yes, right? View shots. 0.0 joules. 6.7, 6.9, 6.5, 6.5, 6.7, 6.8, 6.8, 6.5, 6.9, 6.6, 6.7, 6.8, 6.7, 6.9, 6.8, 6.7, and 6.6, 6.7, 6.8, 6.7, 6.9, 6.8, 6.7, and so on. That's not bad at all. Hits quite well. Has power. I would say that if you're lucky, you can get something like this cheaply. It doesn't say incense or anything like that on it. When it goes over the table at Airgun, everyone thinks, Gamo Expo. No idea what that is. If you're lucky, you can shoot something like this cheaply. And shooting is the key word again. The thing, unless you're trying to shoot world championships, it's already fun. Yes, I know. I have a lot of merchandise knickknacks on the table. I stand behind that too. I think that's good. There's a little hill, a tiny little ball here, microscopic stone. It looks like something that just remains. I already have an idea. I can imagine that. Exactly when I press the spring down, that's probably the ball that is here between the wheel, without orange hands. That's here between the wheel. No, it still cracks. It can't be from there. It still cracks. But this tiny ball is definitely from some device. That has a kind of spring sight. Then you press it once, and the ball falls out from below. I can even see the ball from here. I'll do the following. It could actually be that there are two balls. You will soon get a tutorial here on repairing air rifles or weighting. Yes, exactly, that's where the ball comes from. Now just don't drop it. So, I'm going to try to do it like this. Better not this one. On the right and left there is a small hole. The ball is resting on it. And down here there are some cracks. It then holds onto the bullets. The bullet is not separately spring-loaded. Rather, it is held in place by this main spring, that is, by the spring sight. Yes, it also cracks correspondingly louder now. Maybe they already equipped it with 2 bullets from the factory because they were afraid. The spinners are definitely pressing on it, and then the little bullets fall out, and then they complain again and grumble. They have to turn off their camera themselves or something like that. Exactly. Yes, with... My God, that goes fast. That's right, I had that in my hand. I had that in my hand. I showed the disc. I talked about the trigger. I made a bang. Yes, then I would say, I'll sit down right away. Pull from the back. I can do that here too. Killing time. Now it even seems that the original screws are still in there. Slotted screws. Yes, they are still a bit loose. Yes, now we have it again. I rarely have that. Shaking an air rifle and hearing nothing. But here? Yes, it could also be that the other screws should be tightened as well, you know? The old things, you experience interesting things. So, I think that's it. Then I want to emphasize, once again at this point, that I am wearing my t-shirt inside out. If you looked closely, you will notice that I have also occasionally worn my t-shirt inside out in the past, because the back is much more interesting than the front. And that is indeed the case. On the front, there is just a small logo for the FBI. And yes, here in the back with neon lettering. So it is actually intended for use. Private procurement. I had it sent to me from America at some point back then, before there was the internet, so to speak. So that was it. Then we are done here once more again. And then the man, with the large orange hand, says goodbye again. Who has to turn off his camera all by himself. Or can't afford any staff. Yes. Thanks for watching. We will most likely see each other again soon. That can't be avoided. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. And tell everyone else that it's great and that they absolutely have to like it, and so on and so forth. You know the drill. Well, until then, until next time, says the man who keeps pressing this button, touch 1000.